In this now deleted tweet from Rick Remender, you see him saying here, if you still support this president, it's okay if you unfollow me and stop supporting my work. I'd prefer it. Now deleted, I would assume, because he actually does not want people with money to stop buying his comics, or at least I would like to assume that. Then again, these days, I don't really assume that people within the comic book industry are necessarily making the best judgment calls when it comes to their customers. This is something that I find a little ridiculous. I believe it was Michael Jordan who once said Republicans buy sneakers too. And I can't really think of a more apt statement here. And when it comes right down to it, we live in a weird time where politics seem to be more polarized than ever before. But there are commonalities between people from all walks of life, is that they like to be entertained. And as such, if you're working in the entertainment business, why you wouldn't want to entertain the maximum amount of people is beyond me. But then again, when I began this concept for Sleeveless comics, that was part of what it was based on. This idea that there is more of a, what do you say, more of a relevance today than ever, that there is common ground, but some people just don't want to see it for whatever reason. And it saddens me. It really does. Because at the end of the day, there will be a day where Donald Trump is no longer the president. It could be at the end of this year, beginning of next, or it could be 4 years from now. It's hard saying. I'm not going to make predictions. Not on this channel, anyway. What I found funny about the exchange, though, was the exact same thing that seems to happen a lot whenever these writers say these sorts of things or want to blanket their entire audience who don't vote the way that they do as racists. And let's have a look at that real quick. Because on Twitter, somebody actually posted this page from Rick Remender's Captain America run, where Cap makes a good point, but of course it's misinterpreted completely. Patriotism taken too far is fanaticism, no matter who you are or where you're from. Nuke here, who's a cyborg and a crazy person, says these filthy foreigners make us look bad. He goes, foreigners aren't your enemy, son. I'm the son of immigrants. Well, what? When I was a kid, it was my father's people, the Irish, who were looked down upon, called filthy foreigners, discriminated against. Is that the xenophobic America you want? All religions, all nationalities, we want the same thing. To see our children grow strong, to provide safety for our families, to live in quiet times. Peace, son. Isn't that why we became soldiers? To fight for a peaceful world? This is good writing, by the way. This is how Captain America would feel. Here's the thing, though. Rick Remender seems to think that Nuke here and his xenophobic attitude is the attitude of everyone who votes Republican. That's preposterous. And that is the sort of problem that we have whenever it comes to comic books. This, of course, is a great scene, but you ruin it by basically saying, oh, Nuke is all Republicans. Well, that's absolute nonsense, because most Republicans wouldn't agree with what Nuke is saying. Now, somebody who's a flat-out racist, like, I don't know, Richard Spencer or Nick Fuentes or whoever the heck, those types of people, yeah, they would probably share Nuke's sentiments. But if you think that they represent the entirety of the voting bloc, you are completely incorrect. But that's the political game that they tend to play with these sorts of things. They seem to act that everybody who doesn't vote the same way that they are the bad people. And if you want to be the good people, if you want to be on the side of Captain America, you need to vote the way that we want. Which is funny to me, because there's a point in Mark Waid's Captain America run where Cap flat out says he never tells anybody who he votes for, because he knows that if he were to tell you who he voted for, it would swing the vote the other direction. Interesting, right? And that's the thing. We should be focusing as creators on working on stories that express values that people can relate to. And those are going to come from you naturally. The things that are in your heart will come out on the page. You look over my shoulder there, you see an advertisement for 3 Nights, 4 Days, my upcoming book. Which, by the way, if you want to sign up for the mailing list for that and get some free goodies before we launch, please do so. The link is in the description of the video. But when I wrote that story, what I had noticed is that my values, the things I cared about, the things that worry me, the things that I was interested in, they all flowed straight onto the page. From one to the other. It's the same with my book Inglewood, which will be fulfilling soon. And I'm sure that with many other people that I'm going to work with in the future, it'll be the exact same way. But when it comes right down to it, what I'm about here at Sleeveless Comics is making sure that people from any background can buy the comic book. Am I going to agree with the politics of every single person? Absolutely not. Am I going to silence myself in my opinions? Absolutely not. At the same time, I'm not going to say to them, don't buy my books. Because at the end of the day, I want to entertain people. That's why I'm here. And if you want to be an entertainer, if you want to make a living off of entertaining people, if you want to make a living off of being a writer or an artist, that needs to be the attitude that you have. It's been said amongst the Comicsgate movement for a long time that we're about selling hot dogs. And in a sense, we are. And that's part of what I want here. You know, Sleeveless Comics, the name obviously comes from the fact that I rarely wear shirts with sleeves on them. But that was a nickname about me. People called me the Sleeveless One. So I said, well, why not make it Sleeveless Comics? Why not go with what the fans want? Why not go with something that the fans gave you the name of? But that's the attitude you should have. Be about fans. Be about the people who buy it. Be about the people who want more from you. Because if you're not, you're going to realize that they're not a bunch of pay pigs. They're people who want to be treated well, want to get good books, want to have fun. Don't step on that fun. Anyway, for Sleeveless Comics, my name is Micah Curtis. I'll see you next time.